Please stop hitting me with the shoe.
Good afternoon. In the previous class, we talked about oligopoly, which simply means few large firms are dominating the market. Today, we want to go into the behaviors of firms in an oligopolistic competition. So, the behavior of firms in an oligopolistic competition could be either collusion or cooperation. So, firms in an oligopolistic competition might collude or cooperate. So, it depends on whatever the situation is. So, we're going to start with collusion. Why is it called collusion? It's called collusion because it means we are illegally coming together to decide price, output, and restrict competitiveness. Get the point again? We are trying to reduce competition in the market because as soon as competition reduces in the market, firms would only sell, customers will not have the opportunity to buy more because they are restricted to the choices available. Get the point here? Yes. The reason for oligopoly is that we want to, when it comes to collusion, it simply means we are trying to reduce the numbers of competition in the market. What's that? Can you please stand up and stay closer to the wall? There's collusion because price is fixed, restriction in output, and competition reduces. So based on this fact, these things are not supposed to happen. They are all anti-competitive. They are anti-competitive. Because anything that is anti-competitive reduces the choice of customers. It puts customers into vulnerability. So that is why it is illegal or illicit. So, collusion is a secret or illegal agreement between oligopolists to fix price. Price becomes fixed. So it means going to firm A or firm B or firm C, you're going to meet the same price. Restriction in output. So we are going to only produce certain quantity which is agreed between us. Competition is reduced because you cannot decide, customers cannot decide whatever they see anymore. It is decided by the market itself, the firms. Cooperation, on the other hand, is a legal or mutual collaboration between oligopolies, such as joint research and development. When it comes to cooperation, it simply means we want to ensure that new product is being produced and customers have more choices available. That is cooperation. Do you get the difference between cooperation and collusion here? Collusion reduces output, increases price, reduces competition. It is an anti-competitive practice. On the other hand, cooperation brings about increase in output. Price becomes affordable for consumers to buy. Do you get the difference here, please? Now, collusion. Collusion is driven by the desire to make higher profits. And how are you going to be able to make higher profit? You can only make higher profit if there is what? Restriction in output. Goods become scarce. When there's scarcity, prices becomes higher. Consumers will be willing to pay whatever price is available to ensure that they can get the product. So I wait for that. But the situation is unstable due to firms' desire to cheat for short-term gains. They try to become a monopoly. That is the point. Because if it is not a monopoly, there will be restriction. There will be restriction. But the firms are trying to, it's an oligopolistic competition, but they are trying to become one for short-term gains. Do you get the point here? It's an oligopolistic competition. But as soon as you think about collusion, it means you become a monopoly. Going there, going here, anywhere is the same price. So which simply means it's a price maker. And that's one of the features of a monopoly. Do we get it, please? But all in all, it's just going to be for a short period of time. Because the profit making and oligopolistic competition might attract new firms in the long run. Do we get it, please?
But still, isn't that...
Put your hands off your pockets. Yes?
But still, in the long term...
In the long run. That's why I said for short-term gains. In the short run.
But you said the profit margin will attract new firms into the market.
Yes, in the long run.
In the long run?
Yeah.
So, okay, so these companies...
Everything that we do here is in the short run.
Sure.
Yeah. So as soon as new firms start coming in, it becomes a long run. Because we said in the short run, there's always going to be one factor input that is fixed. It's only in the long run that everything becomes flexible. Do you get it now? Yes. Great. Therefore, cooperation is a legitimate strategy that strengthens firms without violating competitive laws. Cooperation will strengthen the market. It will allow us to enjoy the value for our money. That's what cooperation will be. Unlike collusion, which means we have to strive to pay for goods and services based on the fact that the products are not always going to be available. Do we get it? So what are the methods used for collusion? The first one is the formal agreement. They form a cartel. And when they form this cartel, they choose where you sell, where I sell, where each sells, where she sells. We choose. Oh, you're going to be selling in Tripoli. You'll be selling in Benghazi. She'll be selling in Tobruk. You'll be selling in Soman. So they start telling us where we have to sell. So that means there's restriction in terms of where products will be made available. So you won't take your product because you are based in Benghazi. You won't take your product to Tripoli. So all customers in Benghazi will have to buy the same product they find in Benghazi. That is more of a monopoly. Yes or no? Is it making sense here, please? Great. So here I go. Before the cartel, firms form an organization to fix prices, output, and allocate market share. Please sit down. Do you get the point here? So they allocate market share, which simply means we are restricted to certain customers, we are restricted to certain customers, and restricted to certain customers. We are all restricted to different customers with the same price. Then the second one, it becomes taxes. There's a tacit understanding, which simply means that we all understand our situation, we all understand our decision, or probably we agree to sell at the price that is fixed by the price leader. Do you get the point here? Because we have colluded, we've come together to deal with customers. That is what it means. So it's either we understand each other decision, or we allow a price leader to decide on the price, then we follow. So because it's an oligopoly and there's collusion, it means there's always going to be somebody we have to agree with that takes us forward. So we just have to follow that person, which is the price leader. That is tacit. Do you get tacit understanding here? We all understand our situation, our decision. Or we allow a price leader to set the price, then we follow. Do we get it? Great. So firms follow strategies and prices set by the price leader, or simply by understanding each other's action. That's tacit. Any question about tacit? Great. Then, what is the motivation? What is the incentive? What is the motive behind collusion? To maximize profit by raising prices and reducing output. You cannot increase price when there is more supply than demand. The only time you can increase price is when supply reduces or is lesser than demand. So demand would be greater than supply, based on the fact that there's restriction to output. So the motive behind collusion is what? Profit maximization. And to achieve profit maximization, we have to increase price, we have to raise price, and restrict output. Any question about collusion? No. Clear? Is it clear, please? Great. Now go to cooperation. Cooperation simply means we have an agreement, legal agreement, to make things right. Maybe joint research and development, just to make the life of customers to get better. That is it. Now you asked about examples of cooperative oligopoly, right?
Yes.
I'm going to give you some real life examples soon. So here are the methods of cooperation. Joint research and development, that is the first method, which simply means it allows them to create new products. So we're going to come together. Research and development means we are trying to figure out what is best in the market, and we finance it by producing a new product. Innovation. That is what joint agreement is about. The second one is strategic partnership and alliances. For strategic partnership and alliances, it simply means that we will come together for a long-term relationship, for a common goal. But that does not bring us together. I'm still going to be my entity, you're still going to be your own entity. We're going to work together for a common goal. But that does not take my identity away from me. It doesn't take your own identity away from you. You are still company A, I'm still company B. You are still company C, it's still company D. But we're coming together for a common agreement, for a common goal. Do you get it? We come together for a common goal, which doesn't take away our entity as a firm. That is strategic alliance. We call it joint venture sometimes. In business, we call it joint venture. Do we get it? So look at what I wrote here. Strategic partnership and alliances. This implies a mutual long-term relationship between two or more businesses to achieve a common goal, while still keeping their independence. We still have our sovereignty. I am still what I am as a business, you're still what you are as a business, but we've come together for a common goal.
So why should we have this in mind? Like, why is it so important to know that no matter how common our goals could be, we should still be on separate identities?
Yeah, because we are not the same firm, but we only met in the same markets. We are not the same firms, but we met in the same markets, and we want to ensure that everyone enjoys the benefit of the market. You're still going to be who you are. I'm still going to be who I am. But that does not, one thing about joint agreement is that it is easier for us to come together to achieve than to separate and achieve greater things. When we're together, divided will fall, united we stand. Yeah, divided will fall. But when we're united, we stand. Does it get sense? Irrespective of how divided we are, irrespective of the different identities that we have, when we are united, we still are going to speak the same language. And the language is not that you don't have your language, I don't have my language. We're going to be able to have a common language because we are united. Just like if you want to kick a teacher out of the school, you just have to come together, say the same thing to the administrator, and the administration will kick him out. If you want to do that to me, you can't also. It is all about being united. Yeah. Do we understand? Yeah. Great. And the last one, sharing non-competitive information and resources. So, in an oligopolistic competition, we must not compete using prices. We use non-pricing factors, like branding, like advertisements, but not price. Yes, because when we use price, there will be retaliation. And before you know it, everybody will be on the losing side. Do you get it? Now, that takes us to cooperative, a real life example of a cooperative monopoly or a cooperative oligopoly. Let's look at Pepsi and Coca-Cola. For me, I'll call them duopoly. Duopoly. Yeah. The price of Coca-Cola and the price of Pepsi are always what? Yeah. But they have different advertisements. Yes or no? This is what we call cooperative oligopoly. Does it make sense? Yes. Another example is OPEC. Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. These countries, they are countries that produce oil. Nigeria is part of it. I think Libya is part of the OPEC. Saudi Arabia is part of the OPEC, and other countries. That means we have few countries producing oil in the world. Yes or no? It's an oligopoly. But with OPEC, they have come together to set the Brent price. The Brent. So the price of crude oil here is the price of crude oil is the same everywhere. But the oil in Nigeria is different from the oil in Libya. Am I able to answer your question? Yes. Okay. Do we get cooperative oligopoly here? So OPEC was formed to put every individuals who have different identity together for a mutual benefit. So when you talk about the price of crude oil, if the price of crude oil is increasing, it increases worldwide. If it is reducing, it reduces worldwide. Any question about that? So that's about cooperative monopoly, cooperative oligopoly. And the motive behind it is what? Mutual gains that are not possible individually without engaging in anti-competitive practices. So the motivation behind cooperative monopoly is to gain mutually. Just imagine there's no OPEC. Each country has to sell their oil. It is not beneficial because some countries would incur more cost than others. Some countries will incur less cost than others. So which simply means those countries that are incurring less cost will be able to sell more than those countries that are incurring more cost. But with mutual benefit, it simply means we're going to sell at the same price. So whatever we have to do to make other countries that are oil producing countries to benefit from it, we're going to do it together.
So there's no risk at all?
There's
no
no loss because it's legal. So no one is going to be worse off. We're going to all be the same. We're going to be better off. Do we get it? So that is why we call it cooperative oligopoly. And for cooperative oligopoly, it allows mutual benefit, which cannot be achieved individually. Is it clear? Any question? Any question? Thank you.